He had the bow-legged gait of a cowboy and the hands of a giant. He wore his hair like an army private, and he led like a general. His parents christened him John Constantine Unitas, but his fans called him Johnny U. Unitas taught us to believe in heroes and never gave us reason to regret our faith. The Golden Arm did more than win games. He won our hearts. Unitas did more than make the Colts a great team. He made Baltimore a great town. Just 3 years after the Pittsburgh Steelers cut Johnny Unitas, he led the Baltimore Colts past the New York Giants at Yankee Stadium in the NFL's first sudden death overtime championship. In the span of that one game, Unitas transformed Baltimore's image into someplace special, and the self-esteem of the town rose right along with the legend of the Golden Arm. During his 16 years of wearing the royal blue and white Colts uniform and high-top shoes, Johnny U would amass more than 40,000 yards passing, 290 touchdown passes, 10 trips to the Pro Bowl, and 3 league MVPs. His teammates had their own Hall of Fame credentials, from Raymond Berry, number 82, to number 24, Lenny Moore, to defensive end Gino Marchetti, number 89, to the inimitable Art Donovan. But the Colts never became a collection of egos because they followed Unitas' lead. And to Johnny U, the U stood for us.
It's not an I did this or I did that or I did that. It's we, us, and they.
No one had a bigger role in more good games with Unitas than his favorite receiver, Raymond Berry. Together they put an indelible imprint on the game of football and the NFL, not to mention on each other.
You were more than a teammate to me. You were a special friend. And I came to love you like a brother.
The 60s brought 9 straight winning seasons for Unitas and the Colts, along with the completion of a record that still stands, 47 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. Prolific and poised, Unitas could execute a game plan with the precision of a surgeon. Unitas also modeled the intangibles that turned mortals into legends. Late in Super Bowl III, as the Colts faced the biggest upset in NFL history, they turned to Unitas, who had spent the entire season and the first half of the game on the bench with an elbow injury. Unitas rallied the Colts for a late score, but it came too late, and the Colts lost to Joe Namath and the Jets. But rather than succumb to the opinion that his glory and the Colts era had passed, Unitas brought the Colts back to the Super Bowl just 2 years later. His pass to John Mackey gave the Colts a critical touchdown in their 16-13 win over the Cowboys. 13 years after delivering Baltimore to its first championship in any sport, Unitas had helped to bring Baltimore back to the top. The Golden Arm still had the Midas touch, a touch he would keep until the very end. During his final game as a Colt, a small plane flew over top of Memorial Stadium. It pulled a banner that read, "Unitas we stand." True to form, Unitas did bring the crowd to its feet one last time. He came off the bench late in the game against the Buffalo Bills and connected on a 63-yard touchdown pass, his final pass as a Baltimore Colt. The Colts traded Unitas to San Diego after the 72 season. He would retire a year later. And in the end, more than the touchdowns, more than the records, John Unitas would remember the loyalty of the Baltimore Colt fans, a loyalty that would last the rest of his life.
I've had the privilege of being here for 42 years, and to our raised families here, and we still love it here as always. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you for all coming out and doing what you've done.
Johnny Unitas never saw the statue of him erected outside of the Raven Stadium. Cast in bronze, this statue, which Unitas helped to design, captures the Golden Arm ready to release a pass. Not just any pass. To a Baltimore Colts fan, that's a touchdown pass. The kind of touchdown pass Unitas will always seem to throw when his team and his town needed him the most.
Hey kids, you're in the Baltimore Colts huddle with Johnny Unitas, the greatest quarterback of them all. Listen up as some of Johnny's teammates tell us what it was like in the huddle with John. Here's tight end Jim Mutchler.
We were all listening. I think John was pretty much in charge of the The huddle, nobody really said anything. It was kind of like John would say to Raymond Berry, Raymond, what do you have?
Now listen to Hall of Fame Colt running back Lenny Moore.
And I would bring information, you know. In other words, if we needed 2nd and 5, he may call it. He knew what he wanted to do, and he knew when he wanted to do it. And he was amazing, man.
And finally, running back Tom Matty.
He had complete control of the huddle. You came back when you were spoken to. You got to speak. What do you have? What can you do? What are you setting up? It was a great communicator. Probably the greatest football player to ever play the game.
Okay, now we're ready to hear Johnny Unitas call a play. Listen close.
Out left, split right, zone pass right, on 1, ready?
Did you hear that? Here it comes again.
Out left, split right, zone pass right, on 1, ready?
And now you know what it's like to be in the huddle with the best there ever was, Johnny U.